Hello everybody, it's me again. Who's me? Well, I am Raymond Grosetsky, co-founder and CEO of League of Linguists, and I would like to tell you a little bit about something rather interesting today, but something which everybody seems to get wrong even though they shouldn't. And I'll tell you what that is. It's the present simple. Because you see, the thing is about the present is it's not simple, although it is continuous. What a terrible joke. Anyway, the present simple is actually not as easy as it looks. This is for lots of people because they get it confused with the present continuous. So I'd like to just try and separate the two. It can be done. Here we go. So in order to do this, let's start with a little recap of what they are. Here is the present continuous. I am doing is the present continuous. I'm not going to go into the basic stuff because you should know that by now. This is a recap. This is not learning from scratch. So I am doing is about things taking place right now. So in order to justify that, these are things which are temporary. So they're actions or processes which will end. For example, I am driving. Don't distract me. So you can't be driving forever. I mean, at some point you've got to fill up with petrol. Where are the kids? They're playing in the garden. Well, I don't think they're going to be there when they are 45. So at some point they're going to stop, aren't they? Are you ready for lunch? We're preparing the table. This is an action which takes very little time to do. So all in all of those things suggest there is a temporary action or process taking place, meaning it's going to end at some point. Now, how to differentiate between I am doing and I do, which is the present simple? Well, it's very easy. I've got 3 F words for you. Not that type of F word, I know your dirty minds. I'm talking about these here. Facts, frequency, and feelings. In order to show you what I mean, let's have a look. So, I would say in some ways that frequency and feelings are also facts. So, facts is kind of the main thing, but in order to help you understand a few bits underneath the umbrella of facts, I've added those to the F word list. Yeah. F word facts. Let's have a look. The moon goes round the earth. Simple. We can't say the moon is going around the earth because tomorrow it will be going around Venus. I don't think Venus would like that very much, and besides, the moon has an appointment on Thursday. Miyuki comes from Japan. It's a fact about where Miyuki is from. It's a fact about her nationality, place of birth, whatever. She comes from Japan. Gonçalves plays football for Brazil. That's a fact about what that person does as a job, so to say. Yeah? In all of those 3 things, we see there are facts to do with those. So we could also see that these are what you might call another F word, functions. For example, cows eat grass. Cows eat grass. If I were to say the cows are eating the grass, it has a different meaning entirely, doesn't it? That would mean those cows over there, right now in the field, are eating the grass. I can tell you, there are no cows outside of my window. There's a building site. They're building another office space here, not that anybody needs any, but there we go. Luxembourg. Right, frequency adverbs therefore fit in part of these things because we are going from facts to frequencies. These frequencies, as I say, is all part of this. Now, how to look at them? Well, we have these words here. Always, frequently, often, sometimes, rarely, seldom, never. There are a few others, but these are the general main ones. Difference between rarely and seldom, nearly no difference at all, but rarely comes from Latinate and seldom comes from Germanic. And apart from that, everything else is fine. So, how do we put them in a sentence? Where do they go? This is quite an easy question to answer. They generally go before the main verb. I can promise you the word underneath my little circle at the bottom there is before. Apologise for that. So, for example, we always visit family during the holidays. I can't really put it anywhere else. We visit family during the holidays always, maybe just to emphasise always, but generally this is the main word order that we put that in. They often take the train to work. He sometimes makes mistakes. She seldom smiles. Good piece of advice here. I never jump out of planes without a parachute. I recommend it. So all in all of those things add up to the idea of these frequency adverbs, and they generally go before the main verb. If there is an auxiliary verb used, you might find that it still goes before the main verb. It will go between the two. For example, she has seldom smiled, but then that's not the present continuous, present simple. Going on. General frequencies. These are things like this: every day, at weekends, blah blah blah. Could be a time of the day like after dinner or before bed. In my house is more or less the same time. When it's raining, while driving, etc. General frequencies, things which happen on a regular basis. You'll find them all there. Where in the sentence do we put these? Well, there is a consensus on this, and that they can either go at the beginning or the end. So, for example, let's take every day. Every day the children go to school, or the children go to school every day. What's the difference between the two? Can you think about what the difference might be? Well, it's not really much of a difference in an ordinary sentence, but generally, if you add a bit of context in there, it could be that what goes at the end, as I told you in a previous video, it usually emphasises the main thing you're looking at, the destination of your meaning. So, every day the children go to school. That emphasises where they go. The children go to school every day. That shows how often. But generally in full conversational mode, they get mixed up. It's not really a big thing, but I would say when written, putting your frequencies in the right place give you an advantage in that the reader will pick that up. An Anglophone reader will pick up the fact that you have put the frequency in that particular place. Okay, here's another one. At weekends, the car park is closed. The car park is closed at weekends. Here is where we might find something written by the people who own the car park. At weekends, the car park is closed. You might find that the word closed would be in bold, maybe red, underlined, italic, whatever. Dear patrons, we apologise for the inconvenience, but at weekends the car park is closed. By putting closed at the end, the owners of that car park are making sure that you understand that, because it's the last thing. If you see the car park is closed at weekends, that's just a generality, a statement, and when it's closed, yeah, nothing more. So therefore this goes for all types of things here. We have a few more, and I can put them in that way, or I can swap them around and put them on the other side, with little or no difference, apart from the fact that if you want to add the context, then the green bits, whether they go at the beginning or the end, will give you that. So before bed, the children play with their favourite toys. I would like to tell you about their favourite toys. The children play with their favourite toys before bed. That I'm telling you, this is the procedure. Context in there. Many people listen to music while driving. While driving, many people listen to music. Same kind of thing. Right, moving on. Now, let's talk about feelings. We have feelings of the heart to start with. And these are words like this. Like, love, hate, want, need, prefer. Now, here's a very interesting point about these words. If I were to say, I like our new haircut, We love going to the theatre. He hates the current music scene. She wants to visit Stockholm soon. I need a plumber very urgently. Do you prefer tea or coffee? Now, in all of these, I can't say, for example, I am liking. Sounds a bit bizarre, because there's no action going on. That's why we put these under the umbrella of the present simple, because the absurdity of putting these into the continuous is evident. Yeah. So, for example, what are you preferring? Can't really say that, can you? No. Sounds bizarre. Yeah. You got it. Then you got feelings of the brain. Now these ones are, for example, know, remember, believe, understand, realize, recognize, pose, and mean. And in all of these cases, there's also no real action going on. You can't kind of draw somebody knowing. Yeah, these are what we might call abstract verbs and abstract situations, because there's no there's no object or action that you can really draw, unless you draw a little cloud, what do you call them, thought bubble, whatever they're called. So, do you know the way from your house to here? From your house to your house from here, to read this correctly. Now, if we look at this sentence, what we are also seeing is the fact that I am showing a fact. Do you know it? It's a fact about whether you know or not, I'm asking. I remember seeing you at the exhibition in May. It's a fact about my memory. He believes the thief may strike again here soon. The fact about his belief. I don't understand what you mean. A fact about your comprehension. I realise it's not the best time, but can you help? The fact about what I understand from the situation. There are not many countries that recognise the breakaway territory. This is what this is the idea of a fact about a country's stance on something. Okay. In this particular area, you might find, if you go to a wedding and the person presiding over it might say, I pronounce you man and wife, or husband and husband, or wife and wife. Whatever you like to call yourself these days, I'm all for it. And in order to do that, what we find is that I was going to say the adjudicator, sounds like some dancing competition. The president of the marriage, when saying the word pronounce, he's not actually doing anything. It's what we call a speech action. And this is kind of the similar thing to this. So not many countries that recognise the breakaway territory. If you recognise something, some governments might class that as a speech action as well. Okay. When you say you'll arrive late, we suppose you'll be here by the time we eat dinner. Suppose, I suppose. Well, this is also presumption. This is a fact about what we presume is going to happen. Yes, I mean I'll definitely be there in the late afternoon, comes the reply. I mean, I want to explain my words to tell you what I am trying to say. So therefore it's a fact about my intentions or my message to you. Now, what do all these verbs have in common? Well, I've really told you. There is no process taking place. They're also all facts, as I say, and they sound absurd in the continuous form. What are you doing? I am knowing. Let's join the knowing club. No, it doesn't work. As we see in the biblical form, to know actually meant to visit somebody when the curtains are pulled at night, if you know what I mean. So Adam knew Eve, and then they came along Cain and Abel. They were knowing all over the Garden of Eden. That's where you might be able to use the word know, but other than that, not really. But there are ways in which you can use some of these in the continuous form. Let me show you. For example, when I'm being sarcastic or ironic, like I've just been. Or when there really is a process taking place. Now, let me show you what I mean. So, remember. Let's take the word remember. We are remembering the good old days. It's more like you're sitting down looking at some photos or video on from the old DVD player, which some of you still have in your homes. Realise, here's another one. She's realising the fatal mistake she made. You imagine you're sitting there and you go, oh no. It suddenly dawns on you that the what you've just done. Yeah? Believe. Here's an interesting one. So, if you've got a politician who joins one party and then they lose, so he joins the other party and then they lose, and then you can ask them, so what are you believing this time? Yeah? He's obviously not in principle, you just want to go to the party in government. Love. Now here's an interesting one. I'm loving every minute of this. This is not quite the same as love as in the emotion. This is more about enjoyment and the idea of something more than enjoyment. This is why McDonald's had that awful slogan, I'm loving it, a few years ago. They still have it in some places. The idea behind it is because every time you go to McDonald's, it's not just the delight of eating this piece of cardboard with some chewed up meat in the middle. It's the fact that you really delight in it. It's more than just enjoyment. But I'll give you a better example. I remember when I lived back in Belgium many years ago, we had some neighbours who lived across the way. They were rather, what can I call, antisocial people. And they were the type of people who had a car in their back garden with the wheels jacked up on bricks and no tyres. I'm not saying I lived in a rather rough neighbourhood, not at all. But these people just seem to have found that place to do it. It was quite hilarious one day. I remember he and his wife were having an argument in the garden while he was cutting the grass. And he accidentally went over the cable with his lawnmower and the whole thing exploded. And I'm sitting there going, I'm loving this. It was pretty good fun that day. I had a pretty good mood after that. That's how we would use that. So we can also find some verbs on both sides of the continuous simple spectrum having different meanings. For example, the verb to think, or to taste, or to be. I'll give you an idea. Here we go. I think it's a good idea. That means it's my opinion. Be quiet, I'm thinking. In this case, it's the process of cogitation. There's a temporary process going on. The first one is an opinion, therefore it's a fact. Taste. This chicken tastes funny. Well, it's not going to do anything different. It doesn't kind of say, well, like a chameleon might change colours. It doesn't change taste. Yeah, this chicken tastes funny. It's a fact about the horrible nature of this chicken. Then, on the other side, the chef is away today. She's tasting some new wines for the menu. On this other side, we're talking about tasting as in the act of going along to try different ones. The dégustation, as you might find in French. B. Here's a very generous donor. That's a fact about a person. Whereas if I were to say, oh, take no notice, he's being childish. He's in a temporary situation. He's not normally childish, but at the moment he's a complete horrible person. He's being childish. Okay? So really there's a recap. On the present continuous side, it's about right now. It's a temporary process. It's going to come to an end. On the present simple side, it's about facts, frequencies and feelings. So facts being the overall one. Frequencies and feelings coming underneath. And there are other things which fit in there, for example, belong to or contain, which are also verbs which wouldn't go in the present continuous. But there we are. You can use the present simple for all types of verbs. Just make sure that you use them with the correct context and you'll be fine. So, thank you very much for watching. You can send us an email on info@lowlinguists.com. Or you can like, comment or share on any of our posts on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and of course here on YouTube. Thanks very much and have a marvellous afternoon, morning, night, whatever you're doing right now. Bye.